welcome to Q&A. Today we're going to talk about near-death experiences. Who's come close to dying? Anyone? I know, Fede, I've seen some pictures of you almost dying.
Yeah, but I was secure. Yeah, I
Look at
did bungee jumping, so yeah, that doesn't count. I was
that.
safe. But once I was like on the route, we were going to a beach that's near here. That every Sunday, like everyone goes there because it's like 1 hour away from here, and the route gets like really crowded and there's a lot of accidents. So a guy in front of us like brake like really hard and we couldn't like brake, so we had to go to the side of the road. And yeah, that was my near death experience.
Damn. Well, I'm glad you're still alive. Andre,
Yeah.
you got anything where you came close to dying?
No, I don't really live life on the edge.
Or even in a car. Have you been in like a car experience where it's like you're like, oh, that was close?
No, nothing other than kind of sliding on black ice.
That's scary. Sliding on black ice.
Yeah.
I
But
remember
that's about it.
I lived in New York for a little bit, and it was like this is like 2010, and the snow was really bad that winter. And as you were driving, every like mile or so, there would be a car in a tree on the freeway. So I'm just like, oh damn. Um, and so, but before I even got on the freeway, where I was living was like a steep hill that you went down to park your car, and the driveway, no one went and shoveled the snow, so it was just like snow on the driveway. And I'm like the Californian, I'm like, whatever, dog, I'm gonna roll over this ice, no problem. So I start backing up the car, and the car's going up, and then it starts like wiggling a little bit, and I'm like stuck, and then it starts coming down, and then I'm like, all right, that was just like the first time. Let me try this again. The second time around, I went up a little bit higher, it wiggled even worse, and then it started like sliding down to the point where I was like, oh, I'm about to crash here. Fortunately, I stopped before I ran into anything. And then I got out of the car. I went and into the garage. I was like renting from this old couple. I went and took like a shovel, and I started trying to make like two lines for where the tires would be, like just two perfect lines for this long ass driveway. And then the owner came out and he was like, hey, dumbass, there's a snow shovel you can use. And I was like, oh, they have shovels just for snow. That makes sense. So I go start getting the snow shovel. And then lo and behold, not like 30 seconds later, the plow comes through and like plows it out for me. And I'm like, oh, this is just like, no one tells me that you have an actual plow that comes and plows away the snow. Um, Another near death experience, well, kind of, it was when I was driving my Tesla. It was an autopilot, and then it just slammed its brakes on the 101 in the middle, like on the freeway. And I was just like, whoa, I'm glad that there was no one behind me or like a big rig. Otherwise, that would have been end of me. So, like, for like 2 weeks, I didn't use autopilot. And then I got over it, and I'm like, back to autopilot, baby, let's go. Ralph, you got any near death experiences?
Probably a few, but the first that comes to mind are two. Like, I fell asleep driving. Luckily, so it's weird because I remember exactly what I was listening to on the. I was playing like some Justin Timberlake and one of those slower songs that I always skip when I'm driving. It played out, and I guess it was too soothing, and I fell asleep. And like maybe like 500 feet down the road, I remember waking up again because I jumped the curb, and like I was hitting like the those signs, those indicators of like gas line and stuff like that, like and like the axle broke and everything, but luckily I didn't hit anybody. I just woke up and I was like I was trying to drive off, but the car wouldn't move.
That's why we need autopilot. You can't
Yeah.
have humans. Humans don't know what they're doing. Falling asleep on the wheel.
Exactly. And like I think that was when I was younger. Like I did that twice somehow. But another time I was like a kid, and it was like a friend of the family. Something happened, and he was like pranking me and my sister, and I like fell. It feels like I fell under. He's driving this pickup truck, not fast, but it feels like I fell under the truck. But I moved out of the way just in right before the tire ran over me. That's how it felt. I know I was like 9 or something, so I might be exaggerating it, but like I remember it like, oh shit, I could have. And then saw this meme where it was like, hey, you remember that time you had that near death experience as a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you actually passed away, and this is like your alternate reality or some crazy stuff like that. And I kept thinking of that time where I almost got, and the meme was like specifically like, remember that time you almost got hit by a car as a kid? Well, you actually died. It's crazy meme like that.
You're actually Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seriously. Like,
yeah, that reminds me as a kid, what I remember is that this is actually like not too many houses away from where I am right now, but we had like a tree house. And I remember we were just like messing around this tree house, and one day like the whole thing just collapsed. So we went crashing down. But we didn't fall like too far down, but it was like maybe like 1 story's worth of crashing. That felt like we were gonna die as kids. Like now, like if I fell from a story, I'm probably not gonna die. I might break a leg or something. I'm not gonna unless I go head first. So
that sounds scary, kind of, especially as a kid. Like the whole thing collapsing. I fell what was like half. It was probably like 5 feet up in a playground. I decided to do something adventurous that all the other kids were doing, but for me it was adventurous. I just jumped off the platform. It's like 4 or 5 feet up. Well, it was taller than me, so it's probably 6 feet up, 5.5 feet. And man, everybody's doing it, but then when I decide to do it, some girl comes out of nowhere and like walks under me, and I fall on top of her like this, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, oh, what is this? And I was like 9 or 10, and I was like, I was like, damn, I think I'm dying. Like I couldn't, you know how you like get hit, lose your breath or whatever.
yeah.
Like trying to gasp for air, thinking I'm like, oh, this is it for me.
Tell my mama I love her. Yeah. All right. Well, that was our Q&A session. Next time we might actually talk about work. All right. Later, guys.
Bye, guys.